Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, and for subscribing. In this video, I'll be updating you on Twist of Fate. It is hot already. Right now, Rhea and Prachi are pregnant by one man, Ranbir of all time. Oh my God. Prachi packed her things and left the house. Ranbir was shattered. Ranbir went looking for Prachi. And when he found Prachi, Ranbir knelt down and begged Prachi to come back. Oh my God. What is shocking in this video is Pallavi stopped Prachi from leaving the Kohli's mansion. Pallavi said she would not let her bahu to leave the house. Pallavi recognized Prachi as her bahu and stopped her from leaving. Rhea was shattered. Alia was shocked. Ranbir was confused and speechless. Please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to click on the notification button to be notified anytime I drop a new video. Please like this video, download this video, enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you feel about this video in the comment section. Let's go. Prachi takes her bag and it opens up. Prachi says, "Let me take my stuff. I am not taking anything from this house." She looks at Ranbir's photo frame and packs it as well. She tries to take off Ranbir's photo frame from the wall. Ranbir is on the way in the taxi and recalls Shahana's words. He asks driver to drive the car fast and overtake this car. The driver hits the car. Ranbir asks if he is fine, gives him money to get the car repaired, and says he will run to go home. He gets out of the car and runs on the road. He reaches home and calls Prachi. He sleeps and falls down. He gets up and calls Prachi. Music plays. He recalls their moments and comes to the room. He doesn't find her in the room and gets sad thinking about Shahana's words. Just then, Prachi comes out of the bathroom. He looks at her as if he got back his life. Prachi also looks at him. Music plays. Ranbir bends down on his knees and asks her not to go. She asks, "Why shall I stay back?" He says, "Stay back for me." Prachi says, "I can't stay back for you." He says, "Then stay back for our baby." Prachi looks at him. The episode starts with Ranbir asking Prachi not to go. Prachi says, "I can't stay back. Time has come to leave." Ranbir says, "If you go from here, then I will die." Prachi slaps him and asks him not to talk about death. He says, "I am just saying, but you are taking my life with me." He says, "I know you don't care for me, but have some pity and sympathy on me." He says, "Give me a reason to leave before my death," and hugs her. Prachi says, "You only talk." She says, "I am very angry with you. Good talks will not come out of my mouth for you, as you left me alone." He hugs her again. She says, "You lie, does fake promises, etc." She says, "I see dreams because of your talks, and then the shattered dreams hurt my eyes." Ranbir says, "I will make everything fine." Prachi says, "You can't." He asks for a chance and says, "I have 2 reasons. She says, "There is nothing left in you. Don't have hope, patience, and feelings." She says, "There is a life inside me, but I am weak and shattered. I am done." She says, "If you let me go, then I might save myself." She says, "I am begging you to give me my life," and says all the persons can't stay with us forever. She asks him to think that they met to separate and asks him to stay with his family and forget her. Our togetherness was still here. He looks at her. Prachi says, "Don't look at me in this way. If I cry more, then we'll get weak. I am not strong like I appear. Don't make things difficult for me. Let me go." Ranbir holds her hand and cries, looking at her. She frees her hands and tries to go. Song plays. She is about to lift her bag. He says, "At least, let me lift your bag." He lifts her bag and it opens up. making the stuff falls down. He finds his photo frame. She says it came by mistake. Ranbir asks, what about this frame? Prachi says it also came by mistake. He says 2 mistakes twice. Prachi says you have done 100 mistakes, 100 times. He says, I haven't learned to love from anyone, and says I couldn't be a perfect lover. I did many mistakes and learned from it, and says, I understood that you can say bye to me, but can't say bye to my pictures. He asks her to ask her heart and asks her not to go. And if she wants to go, then take him along with her. He says, I can't live without you, and says, you have taught me to love, and says, I can't say that you have taught me separation, as you only couldn't separate yourself from me. Prachi cries. Ranbir kisses on her forehead and hugs her. She holds him and cries. They recall their marriage. Vikram did a Pallavi come home. Alia and Rhea come in another car. Alia says, I will lecture Pallavi so that she throws Prachi out of the house. Holding her hand, Rhea says, do something. Alia gets down the car and asks Pallavi to do something and make up for all the bad times. She says she's not good for this family. Ranbir and Rhea. She says Prachi tried to kill Rhea's baby and says Rhea is your choice and will keep you happy. Until Prachi is here, nobody can be happy. Rhea asks her to prove her love for her and asks her to show that she is important to her and not that Prachi. And to prove this, you have to throw Prachi out. Alia says Rhea is clean-hearted girl and not liar and manipulative like Prachi. She says Prachi always tried to separate Ranbir from you and says he wanted to leave the house 2 days back, and that's why you have to throw Prachi out. Don't melt seeing Ranbir crying. He will be happy. She says if he stopped Prachi, then stop him and throw Prachi out, holding her hand. Shahana hears her and asks how can anyone hate her niece so much. Ranbir is about to wipe Prachi's tears. She holds his hands to stop him. She says, no, Ranbir, no. Why do you think that I will stop if you say and will not go? She says, I will go. You can't stop me. She takes her stuff. Ranbir hugs her and says, please don't go. She asks him to leave her and says, you are hurting me. She says, your touch hurts me more than your talks. Shahana asks Alia to keep her poison to herself and says Prachi herself is leaving. Alia says she says, but she doesn't go. I am saying what is right. She asks Pallavi to throw Prachi out of Ranbir's life. Pallavi goes inside. Alia smiles and goes. Prachi asks Ranbir if he is showing care for his child and says very conveniently, you made me bad. She says, didn't you know that I can be pregnant at any time? He pleads in front of her not to leave the house. Prachi says, I am pleading in front of you to let me go. She says, I have returned to tell you that I am pregnant and have forgiven you, but you were marrying Rhea then. That time I swear to destroy you and will snatch all happiness from you and will not tell you that you are becoming a father. She says, I have hidden my baby so that you shall yearn to hear Bauji from my baby. He says, my Prachi can't do this. Prachi says, I will not stay back. She starts walking out. Shahana is about to take Prachi's stroller when Pallavi stops Prachi and says, you can't go like this. She says this bag will be inside the house. Prachi says it has just my stuff. Shahana asks, why are you clarifying? And says when she is leaving the house, you want to blame her for theft? Pallavi asks her not to interfere and says whoever bag it is, that person will stay here and this bag too. She says my bahu will not leave this house. Alia, Rhea and others are shocked. Alia asks, what are you doing, Pallavi? We didn't talk this downstairs, and says Rhea is your bahu and asks her to say that your bahu shall stay here and Prachi shall leave. She asks, why are you stopping her? Pallavi asks her to shut up. She says, when I was in hospital, I was thinking what is happening in my house. She says, I was telling that my bahu Rhea is pregnant, and now will say that Prachi is pregnant. She says, I used to think that Rhea is my bahu. Now I think that Prachi is my bahu. Rhea then asks, do you think I'm not your bahu? Pallavi says, not now. She asks Prachi to come inside and takes her inside. Ranbir, Vikram, and Dida are surprised with her changed behavior. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and come back for more updates from your favorite Z Word series.